Hello everyone, welcome to part 2 of this replay between OGS, FrutiVendor, and NewLife Prime here on Lost Temple. Now finally chrono boosting and trying to get one Colossus, so that Colossus may be able to come into play. Now 4 photon cannons pretty much holding off this whole entire attack over here. More units being warped in. Those force fields preventing those roaches from really engaging and taking the damage over here, but those roaches may be able to just run on through. Probes now coming off the mineral line, trying to focus some of that, some of that focus fire, so those cannons can do their job and focus back more of these units. One stalker on the high ground, continuing to Hydra's now just continuing to move in, and now with that Colossus in play, that Colossus may be able to hold off this Hydralus army. Yes, able to hold off this Hydralus army there. So that Colossus coming out at just the right time, being forcing OGS FrutiVendor to push on back. Hydralus are not upgraded. They are currently sitting at 0-0. We are getting the ventral sacks though, so we may see a Doom drop coming in. We also have a Spire coming into play. So this whole entire low ground position here, this very tight choke point which NewLife Prime is trying to hold on to and trying to win with, it may get taken down very easily. Spine crawlers continuing to move on forward, so they're going to go ahead and just root into position and make it very difficult for NewLife Prime to move on out. NewLife not getting any of the range upgrade coming from that robotics bay, and no weapons upgrade. The forge was taken down before the research was able to complete. Currently running off of 5 gateways with now finally getting that extended thermal lance range, but I do not know if it will be enough. NewLife Prime definitely behind right now, sitting on 500 minerals less per 500 minerals less per minute, essentially. I think it's actually 60 units of time, so that really counts back to like 42 seconds, and then in comes this drop. No, the drop is not going to be able to happen in time. One of those overlords with all those roaches dangerously low on hit points, down it goes. So 4 roaches taken down there, a loss of 400 minerals. But back over here, roaches now coming in on that front door, so those units may be forced to come back. Really, NewLife Prime really needs to move back with this army and perhaps try to engage, but those overlords coming back around that top side may be able to push back this attack. Roaches still causing a little bit of pressure over here, and now those that Colossus and that Stalker army trying to chase these roaches. Roaches going away as these overlords now moving in. In comes the drop. Roaches and Hydralus simply gonna destroy this whole entire attack force. Probes now coming in from that main mineral line. Roaches and Zerglings may be able to do a quick run by over here. NewLife Prime gonna lose a lot of his gateways and his whole entire production over here. So roaches, Hydralus moving in, really nice 2-pronged attack. NewLife now probably just pretty much doing a last-ditch attack over here, and NewLife Prime leaves the game. So OGS FrutiVendor able to take the game. Really, NewLife Prime not getting that early weapons upgrade really cost him the game. That early weapons upgrade would have really changed how the fight happened over here very early on, when those zealots, those sentries, and those stalkers were fighting against these Zerglings. Once all those Zerglings were able to take down the zealots and some of the stalkers as well, the Hydralus were pretty much able to break through this front door, stop the forge from getting any additional upgrades as well. Once also really good play from OGS FrutiVendor. OGS FrutiVendor splitting up his forces, feinting a drop and then attacking from the front door again, causing the main army of NewLife Prime to walk back and forth between these 2 locations, and wherever NewLife Prime was forced to retreat from in order to cover the other side, OGS was then able to just do a simple drop, take down these gateways, and win the game. Now, a lot of you guys have been wondering, or I've been getting a lot of questions in regards to the whole entire Phase 1 of the beta, and what I think would be needed in order to just make StarCraft 2 a little bit more interesting, and perhaps get some units a little bit more brought into the fold. Now, a couple ideas that I have is, and now you guys can go ahead and feel free to leave comments on this video. I'm just gonna go in order according to race. For the Terran I want Nitro Pack research to be moved to require a factory, but then allow a Reaper to move while attacking, similar to a Phoenix. What that will open up is Reapers are so micro intensive that they're only really useful in the early portion of the game. Once speedlings are even brought in, even with the Nitro packs, the Reapers are not able to deal enough damage to really counter the speedlings, especially when like 3 speedlings can, I think, take down 1 Reaper fairly easily. So by by moving the upgrade higher up and then giving the Reapers the ability to move and attack like a Phoenix, I think it will extend Reaper play a little bit longer and make a more viable late game. Who knows, I might just be a fan of John Woo and I want to see double wielding pistols, pistol Reapers flying through the air and shooting at targets. Second, I want to see the battlecruisers get back their defensive matrix. Battlecruisers cost 400 minerals and 300 gas, and really don't really seem to be worth it for their DPS. They don't deal enough damage, and they're too easily taken down. I believe 4 Hydralisks can easily take down 1 battlecruiser just because of the rate of attack on those Hydralisks, and the Hydralisks cost I believe 100 gas less in total, and the battlecruiser is supposed to counter ground units. So that's just another idea I had there. For the Protoss, 2 changes that I want to see for Protoss. One, I want to see the Colossus, their base weapon upgrade go from 15 to 17, but in also doing that, change their weapon attack and their armor upgrades to air. So instead of getting the upgrades from the Forge, they would get their upgrades from the Cybernetics core. The reason why is the Protoss army, I think it benefits a little bit too much from the Forge upgrades. The weapons upgrade from the Forge gives the upgrade to Zealots, Dark Templars, Sentries, and Stalkers. Really, when you also add in Colossus, that unit combination pretty much can handle the majority of things that any of the other races want to throw back out. So by initially moving the damage from the Colossus up to 17, what that allows you to do is it gives the Colossus a little bit more of a higher ceiling in terms of DPS, but it also allows Protoss Air to come into play even further, because if a Protoss player is going to start researching the weapons upgrade at the Cybernetics core, Phoenixes, Void Rays, and Carriers may become even more useful as well. Second thing I want to see for Protoss is an upgrade that allows Phoenixes to Graviton Beam air units. Kind of like a tractor beam, just make them freeze in their tracks so that those units are unable to move. But it would have to be an additional upgrade. It would not be able to work on massive units, so units such as the Battlecruiser and the Carrier could not be Graviton beamed. They could still fight back, and that just opens up a lot more play for the Protoss Air. Finally, for the Zerg. I know this is going to be weird coming out from me, but I wish the Roach had 2 armor again. Now that Blizzard has upgraded the food cost from 1 to 2 for the Roach doesn't have as much value early play anymore. And really what I want to see the Roach go from 1 to 2 armor is, I do not like the Zerg matchup in the very early portion of the game. It's too much Zergling and Baneling, and Roaches simply just do not counter those Roaches do not counter those Zerglings nearly enough. By giving that additional 1 armor upgrade to the Roach, since it is now 2 food, it is a little bit more difficult to master Roach, but the Roach is now a better counter to the Zergling. If the Roach can better fight off against Zerglings, if 4 Zerglings can so easily take down a Roach, the Roach is never going to be a viable unit in early Zerg versus Zerg play. Second thing I want to see is the Ultralisk, changes to the Ultralisk and changes to the Infestor's Frenzy. First of all, remove Frenzy from the Infestor. It's almost like a kludgy, like, hey, the Infestor can do this if you manually cast. It just feels out of place for the Infestor. They already have 2 great spells, Neuroparasite, Fungal Growth, 2 awesome spells for the Infestor. What I want the Ultralisk to have is the armor upgrade for the Ultralisk makes it immune to Neuroparasite, makes it immune to the concussive shell attack and the stun from the Thor. It's like a hardened skill ability for the Mountain Giant in Warcraft 3. Just pretty much make it immune to those abilities, and it's a little bit more natural that way. It's kind of like the Ultralisk has such thick skin, the concussive shells don't slow it down. It has such thick skin, the Neuroparasite, the little, I don't know, antenna probe thing from the Infestor can't penetrate it, and it can't be stunned, it can't be slowed down, and it also makes sense lore-wise. I don't know. Whatever you guys think, let me know. Post it in the comments. Let me know what you think, and I hope to see you guys on Battle.net one day.